Good afternoon. This is ESO News. I'm starting at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was going until 5:30 p.m. I'm not for sure where you are, but hopefully you'll enjoy the drive today over in ESO News. Right now, we got some news going in with the crown crates giving us some issues to where we're going over and having some writing lessons. So if you log into your ESO account, you're probably looking at getting some writing lessons. It's a book. It's kind of a cute thing. Doesn't last very long, but there's a problem inside of the crown crates. I can't get totally into it on the discussion board on what is happening with the crown crates, but when you go in and you press the button, there's been some issues with the crown crates, and hopefully that will be resolved. Just as much over on Reddit is being talked about a user where they had about they bought about 21,000 crowns, and the next day when they woke up, they found out they had about 26,000 crowns. In the accounting department, what happens with your monthly bill? Just have to explain it over here on the side of ESO. What we have to do is we have to explain how the monthly billing cycles work, and kind of depending upon what monthly bill you had put in, you either paid a full year in advance, or you paid like 6 months, or maybe you're just paying each month, like month to month. Um, if you pay for a year in advance, you're going to get more crowns each month, and that's kind of the point about getting. I think it was the user was saying they spent the 21,000, and then they got an extra 26,000. Most likely, what happened in the system is the time that their bill was due. Like for example, yesterday, I don't remember when the exact discussion was put, but just for example, for the sake of what's being discussed right now with the billing cycle within ESO, the billing cycle when you have your bill, say it was yesterday. Today is the current day of December 7th. So the example day yesterday was December 6th. So if that person's billing cycle is set to change over into a new billing cycle for the current month, well, the user will get an extra the extra crowns, how much ever crowns the user is getting. And so it can be kind of confusing. They were confused just as much as I was confused on when you look at, like, hey, I spent 21,000 crowns, and then I fall asleep, I wake up, I've got 26,000 crowns. So where'd the 6,000 crowns come in? Well, maybe the user had tried to refund the some of the crowns that they had previously used. Possibly they were trying to do a trade. There in ESO, there has been some past issues in gifting, and that kind of sounds like that in that area. I don't know the instance, so I can't really speak, like, expand on the discussion on that end. But what do want you guys to do is I do want you to become an ESO member. It's very inexpensive. It's about $15 a month, and it will back your device up. It's pretty sweet. You don't want to back up every one of your devices that you have. Yeah, there's a jerk that's logged into one of my emails and can't get in there, and lo behold, many companies are not being able to log into throughout the system. Go figure, huh? So I'm going to take a real quick break, and hopefully you're going to have a good drive today. I always love the sound of singing. Hopefully you are too. And if you're logged into somebody else's account in which you're not supposed to, I hope your brain is getting annoyed. Really. You know why? Because those of us that are getting our accounts screwed with, we're going to enjoy screwing with those of you that are intruding upon the system. So it's time to log off of somebody else's account, not only mine, but other people's as well. We can't get in to the places that we're supposed to, and we can't make any money. We can't live. That's kind of the reason that I'm seeing of why the system really isn't working too well. When you go in and log into your own account, that'll make you feel a lot better. Why am I speaking, like even thinking about people that go into other people's accounts? Really weird. This is just so strange. ElderScrollsOnline.com is really a mess right now. Just have to explain that. So hopefully you guys can understand if there is a magnetism or an issue of how the system is going slow. Just give the guys on the other side some time to get the accounts logged in to where the where you'll be able to see better. That's the whole point of what I'm explaining. How do not be logged into somebody else's account. Some of you might have thought about that was like funny if you're looking in, if you've done that before and you're listening to this right now. It's a real hindrance to the things that are necessary. And so I have to explain more of these things. Inside of ElderScrollsOnline.com is an intricate system. There's only 3 parts to the entire site. Goodness gracious, this is maddening actually, because the system is not responding. And so what I want to explain to you guys about becoming an ESO member, because it will help society out and also give you something to do every day. As hopefully you're watching the news here before you watch Jeopardy. This week, I think Jeopardy's on over at 5:30. So hopefully you guys are enjoying watching this. If you are watching this at home or you're driving in your vehicle, it's a sweet thing, and goes further on to where if the system keeps on getting screwed with, we can't drive. We can't drive like to where we need to. We won't even be able to walk. Like it's a thing. Somebody says, I can't drive. Well, someone says, go walk. And like, I can't even walk. And then what? Hopefully things can get all fixed up. And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to become an ESO member. And if you don't want to become an ESO member, enlist into the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. Getting in there, yeah, it's some of that is complex, but once you get your account, if you don't know how to get an actual account in Elder Scrolls, somebody will help you, and it'll be for your own better good. It's a sweet thing. So if you don't know what you're doing and then you have somebody create an account for you, I'll try to explain like how you can get hooked up in Elder Scrolls, but I'm not going to condone behaviors of people going into other people's accounts. I kind of have a problem with some of the different systems, like the family sharing plans in different accounts. When it comes down to somebody using a device, a company really looks at a family plan or a single plan or a student plan, those are some of the worst accounts, the student accounts, because some of the students want to use their parents' account in which the parents are paying, but the student is not paying. They're in a different state, and the parents they want to use their parents' account, but the device doesn't work because of laws in different states throughout the United States, for example. In the two different servers throughout Elder Scrolls is known as the NA server and the EU server. Very simple in the United States, where we call the server the NA server. With you guys enlisting over in the Sky Bolivia beta playtest, that will be helping out the NA server. There's a lot of people in the world. There's not a lot of known Elder Scrolls players. And so when we talk about we have 22 million users, we mean we literally have to have at least 22 million people in the system. And so when you go over and you enlist over on the Sky Bolivian beta playtest, it's maddening right now because there's only one account that is actually showing on the system. And so that's how important what I'm explaining to you guys, to where I want you guys to enlist, well, not only in as an ESO member, but as well going in and signing up on the Sky Bolivian beta test. Getting at least 22 million people in there, that's not going to be hard at all. Right now, the system, it was set up, and I didn't even know what was going on with it. Wasn't even able to get a user in there. It took about an hour for the email to go through, and then once it went through, I was able to program that there's only one literal user in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest, believe it or not. That's horrible, because I put it in to where now there's available 10 users that could go in on the playtest. And now what I had done is I added 1,000 that can be in the playtest. The company individually of Steam is going to have to close down if users don't enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta test. For the state of Washington, that's very important because that's a major part of the economy within the state of Washington. And so what I have to explain to those of you that are living in the state of Washington, how important it is for those of you to enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest. If you want to call it the military, so be it. That's what you have to do, is enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest. For those of you that are visiting in the state of Washington, what I need you to do is I need you to still enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest, because that's going to go outside your state, where that will be able to branch our states together, which branching the states together, we branch together in the United States, to where we branch together with the United States, Mexico, and Canada throughout North America. Not only that, in Greenland as well. There's about maybe 49 people in Greenland. And then how many people are over in Europe? There's a lot of people over in Europe, not a lot of people in Greenland, but there's a lot of area of land in Greenland. Why aren't people living in Greenland? Well, there's some writing lessons that were just given today over in the store. So what you can do is log in, and that's an important thing. That will help you understand, go over and enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest. I'll be right back. Just got back and kind of showing the progress here in Skyblivion for the Skyblivion beta playtest. This is the literal thing you guys are gonna see once this goes fully live. And so this is a slow process that is going on right now. So just showing this how this looks right now, of what this will look for you guys when you enlist in the Skyblivion beta playtest. It's called going and requesting access. And when you go in through tests over in the elderscrolls.com, you scroll down to where the Skyblivion beta is, and then you'll see this in here. What you have to do is you have to actually be logged in to your own account so you can see this. If you just go over and test and you scroll down and you click on the Skyblivion beta, you're not gonna see this information. This is how important this is for you guys to have your own account so you can see this form. Skyblivion continues the legendary fantasy to death. It's a real detail with myths of a reborn adventure. There's a lot of things that go on with being able to play the game. This is some sweet stuff. And looking at this of how this will look, this right here, this very picture is what you guys will see in the future when you're looking at buying the game. I think it's set to be about $39.99 for the game to play to be able to fully start to play the game. There's all sorts of fees. You've got to understand when there's another fee. That's the reason why there's another fee, because that helps us scroll down. Hence the name The Elder Scrolls. Scrolls. When we talk about scroll, there's just one thing. When you want just one thing, which everybody wants at least one thing, and for coming up here in Christmas, this is going to be a sweet present for you guys to be able to see this in the future. The game's set to be released on June 6th of 2025. Backing is both with ZeniMax Online Studios and Besta Softworks. So there's many people that are contributing to the game. Now they're not going to be able to actually talk to all of you all at once, but that's where the communications come in, to where you guys see this information imparted to you guys. The whole company's not going to be able to speak to all of you all at once. That's why it takes multiple people talking to a larger audience. This goes back to the purpose of a tribe needs Indians and a chief. This is always how this has gone on in life. And when you look at the different things where there's like too many chiefs and not enough Indians, that's usually how that goes. That's how that story goes. But this is getting better. And so what we need is we need one chief and we need Indians. So think about in Elder Scrolls. Those of you guys that are the faithful, you got to step in and you've got to enlist into Sky Oblivion. So we have a number that we can go by to where we have a literal recorded number as over 22 million people in the system here in Sky Oblivion. This will be proof that we have at least 22 million users throughout the world. That's a very small number compared to the total population of Earth. That's what I'm literally talking about. I'm talking about the literal population of Earth. 22 million people is not very many people considered as part of the total population. And so what I'm talking about with proof that will give proof to the other side of the entire population by having the recorded number of users of at least 22 million people, that shows that the company is totally with the population. 22 million people is a very small part of the population, and just by having those numbers or having above the numbers will give proof to where we'll be able to grow. Just having one number in there, that's going to do us no good. Sometimes what has to happen is there has to be a majority, or there has to be a major people talk to just one person in order to get the message across. And so what I am explaining with this, of what I want you guys to do, is I want you to be able to have your own account and build your life up. That's the whole point of this, of you guys getting an actual Steam account, is so you can you can grow within the place that you will grow. Some people have to go into a place they don't want to be at, but people make a person do something so they can grow. And then once they understand, like there's a lot of people with them, they're so happy. But during the time like such as now, this is a struggle. And what I have to explain to those of you that can see this, how important it is to actually enlist in the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest. This is the literal beta block, or whatever you want to call it. Right in here, this took me a long time to get the transmission completely fully transmitted, just by myself. I haven't been getting much help, and it's the whole company probably sees this. It's just not one person that's helping. It's many people that's helping, and I guarantee, with the company being a little under 500 employees, is not very many people, and they're probably like, well, I'll take over the why early access block. Here, why don't you take the early access block? Oh, here, why don't you take the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest block? Or hey, why don't you take the M block? Or hey, why don't you take the in library block? Or hey, why don't you take the in library block while I take the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion is already in your in library block? There's a lot of blocks to go over, as the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest says right here. This is proof. If you didn't believe, well, you're going to believe now. It says, you see, is it a little fuzzy? It probably is a little fuzzy. The pictures are a little fuzzy with that M. It says mature, 17 plus. See, when you think of like ESO plus, you're like, that is just ghetto. And like, you thought PlayStation was ghetto. Well, Xbox is a little bit more ghetto than you ever thought about how you've requested access keep an eye out for an email notification from Steam when the developer is ready to accept more participants. The developer is going to actually love that you have enlisted into Skyblivion playtest when you do. They really will. They'll even say, "Is this game relevant to you? Do you want to be in that block? How many games do you want to have in your block?" In Skyblivion, you can have 3 games in your block. That's super sweet. As we are in the second DLC, as we're in the 4th quarter of Elder Scrolls, this is getting really, 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 really. So that's a lot. That's a mouthful. You're then like, how do I get involved with nobody plays with me. Oh, but there's lots of players that will play with you. Might be the hero of Greymoor. Might be the hero of the Reach. Or it might be the Imperial hero. Imperial hero probably wants a cup of eggnog. So, be on the lookout for the Reach dogs. They're coming out. I'll be right back. All right, just got back. Just pop it in like cranberries. It's gonna get really fast. Are you ready? You ready for the reach? Prepare the reach. It's so fast, isn't it? This isn't so fast. Oh, but you will see. Oh, you will see.
This way! Move! Step forward in Foul Creek, and we'll bury you here, reach scum! No mercy! Take 10 reach dogs for every true-blooded Nord! For Foul Creek!
Well, that's the end of that. And we're getting back into the normal. It was so exciting, wasn't it? Like I'm just like amazed at the how the game is progressing. Like get wood off in there. The reach is there. I hope you're watching. I'll be right back. Well, I hope you're enjoying your drive today. If you're inside of your place over in your house or your apartment, I hope you're enjoying your drive today. If you're driving a vehicle right now, you're kind of like and somebody's like, hey, you get that right on there. Like, a person that's driving really can't get in there. You know what I'm talking about when somebody's driving, like, hey, get it on that place, get it on that radio station. So right here is the starting of Skype Oblivion, where you can kind of see a picture over on the right hand side, where you kind of see you might have laughed at the guys that made the video, like over in the middle. Probably did. This is a perfect present, like Christmas present for those of you guys. This will be a Christmas present to me from you guys enlisting in by on the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. A Christmas present from you guys when you actually enlist, and that takes a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. No time to be lazy. What you have to do is get yourself into steamcommunity.com right now and try to build yourself your own account and get your life back together. If you already have a Steam account, you can go in here and you sure can get in there. I will try my best to get you guys in on the beta playtest. Super sweet. It's like all being in a fishbowl. It really is. Being in like a small little fishbowl connected to everyone else. It's all there here for us. And so what I'm explaining for those of you, it'll be a Christmas present. Guaranteed. When you enlist in the Sky Oblivion beta playtest, this is going to help grow us all. Not even joking. The system is really struggling right now. The company has a little under 300 employees in total. That's not a lot of not a lot of employees. If you're kind of catching my drift, like on the employees that are around in Steam. The majority of the employees are stationed out in the state of Washington, and so when you look at the employees, you're like, that's a lot of people, but not really. It's like little ants compared to, like, talking to a bunch of people. And so what I want you guys to do is I want to make sure that you guys get yourself a Steam account to where you can go in and you can enlist into the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. This is going to help you guys with an action-packed game set that you can grow with forever. This game you will be able to play forever. How important this is for you guys to enlist in the Sky Oblivion beta playtest is because one day I will be able to meet all of you when you enlist in the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. When we have an event for things like Sky Oblivion, it all starts from ground up, going in and enlisting in the playtest. That's the most important thing. So when you guys go to like a movie theater or an event, this is what this takes for you guys to get involved by enlisting in the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest. It's that important. I don't know how much more to impart or to say. This is the most important thing for you guys to enlist in the playtest. I'm gonna go in here a little bit further in the playtest because I'm kind of like merely blind. But what I'm explaining here, this is what once you have your Steam account created, go into test over in the ElderScrolls.com, scroll down, go to the Sky Oblivion beta link, and then you'll go in right here. You'll see this. Pretty sweet. If you don't have an account, you're not going to see this. You're just going to see the main page of Steam. And if you don't have an account, you're going to go into another screen, which gets more complex. So I'm making this very simple, very 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 beyond simple. This is beyond simple. When you first get over into Steam, if you don't have an account, I'm just gonna have to explain how it's merely impossible to even look at pictures or videos if you don't have an account. And so that's why I'm explaining how important it is for you guys to have an actual account to where we can talk to Xbox and PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? If we don't get the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest, even another recorded number, we will not be able to survive. I'm not even joking. Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam will not even be able to survive. We won't be able to communicate. And that's why I'm explaining how important it is for you guys to enlist in the playtest as soon as possible. The game is set for June 6th of 2025. The more people we get in, even if there is a little over 100,000 people that have signed up for the playtest, that's still not going to be good enough compared to what we have to the actual amount that we have to have recorded. The FCC is requiring that the game is being shown as there is a literal 22 million users in the system of the Elder Scrolls Online. You see what I'm saying? Over on Wikipedia, it says there is a little bit over 22 million users. If that number does not reach over here in the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest, that is a falsehood over on Wikipedia. That makes Wikipedia false. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to be considered false. We want to see those numbers. If we just see mere little numbers such as 100,000 people in a playtest, that's not going to prove that the company does actually in fact have a set amount of 22 million users. That's how important it is for you guys to enlist into the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest. So with that, I spoke that, and that's about all I can speak on that subject. If Wikipedia doesn't have that information over on this side, how can they even communicate to Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam? See what I'm saying? The Wikipedia site is part of a larger network within the entire world of the internet. And this is just a small, important part of the internet. And if we don't get these numbers, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to set the release date to a later time. You see what I'm saying? How important it is for you guys to enlist in the beta playtest. Because the sooner you get enlisted into the playtest, the more relief you are going to have. You'll have, it will be an instant relief. An instant relief. Not even joking. An instant relief. If you don't sign up and you're being required to sign up, or you're meaning to sign up but you procrastinate and don't sign up, if you don't sign up by June 6th of 2025, there's no guarantee that you will be allowed to be on the internet anywhere. You might not be able to be allowed to log into your own account. You might not be able to be allowed over on an Android device. You might not be able to be allowed on an iPad. You might not be able to be allowed on a PC. You might not be able to be allowed on a Macintosh. You might not be able to be allowed on any device that is communicatable. And that's how important I'm explaining for those of you that are getting involved in Skyblivian to enlist right now. So it doesn't become too late for you. This is how important what I'm talking about, a day-to-day operations. Over in the Elder Scrolls Online, an important character is over from the College of Winterhold. And the first DLC is going on there in that area. The current DLC that's going on right now is the second DLC. So I can't even think of the female character name, but she helps out a lot. You can kind of tell on who the actual character voice is when you hear him. Some of you know who the actual female character is that's speaking about on the Elder Scrolls Online when you look inside of the system. The system is so beautiful. When you look at either if you're an Xbox or PlayStation user, over on Xbox, there's just different terms. It's the same thing. This picture right here of what you see with the Skyblivian, the Elder Scrolls Online. This is one of the same pictures that's going to go into Xbox and PlayStation. This is how sweet this is. You going in, you get yourself a membership, or you go in and you just outright buy the game. That's kind of the two forms that are taken into consideration. Some people don't want to be a monthly member of ESO. They just want to outright buy the game, and that's fine too. If somebody wants to straight up just play the game, make sure you get your proper channels paid. Right now, this is just in the early stages of Skyblivian being released, so it's an important thing for you guys to be enlisted in the beta playtest, as it's in early game access. The Elder Scrolls Online, I'm doing a lot of speaking, and I don't know what to say on certain things. I do know that all of these blocks have to be in queue, and they have to be all in order. I don't know all of the ins and outs of what needs to be, but I do know we're on a straight path and we're moving forward. We just don't have the system working functionally just yet. So this right here where you see the Elder Scrolls Online Skyblivian playtest, when you enlist, this is what it will show. You've requested access. Keep an eye out for an email notification from Steam when the developer is ready to accept more participants. There's going to be tons of people that are going to be accepted. That's the whole point of gathering together. Just like, and if you don't believe in the word, on what the word says, kind of like in Matthew 18:20, where two or more are gathered together, this is where this comes in on the Elder Scrolls Online Skyblivian playtest. When you enlist, you are actually gathering with a larger part of society. There are lots of different people throughout the world that have different ideas of how things should be, and different things in what's called denominations. There are different denominations that are looking into different words that mean the same thing. There can't be any distinction on what this means. We can use relationships on what these things mean, but if you're a person who goes into the word and just opens up the book and then goes to a verse of the book, but nobody's looking in, that's going to do you no good. It's kind of like looking at a Catholic and a Lutheran. If a Catholic is studying why early access block, whereas what is this? If a Catholic is studying the why early access block, whereas a Lutheran is studying the early access game block, well, they're going to use this as a relationship because it's near the two blocks. See how what I'm talking about? How Lutherans and Catholics are related through the early access game block and the why early access block. That might seem a little weird to some, but that's the truth. And when both Catholics and Lutherans come together, we get down to the Elder Scrolls Online Skyblivion playtest block. See what I'm saying? That will make us as a one holy Catholic Apostolic Church. What I'm talking about is that will bring us to becoming Orthodox. That's the important thing of what I'm talking about here, how important it is to enlist in the Elder Scrolls Online Skyblivion playtest. It's some good stuff. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a quick break, and hopefully that will explain all that you ever did want to know. I'll explain more if needed. All right, I will be right back. Okay, I just got back in here, and I have to explain. I need you guys to enlist in the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. There's been no one that has reported information in there. This is how important this is for you guys to enlist in the beta playtest. I don't know how much more to explain. There has to be you guys enlist as this is being spoken, and as other people are speaking the need to get the beta playtest enlisted. It's an important part for you guys to be logged into your Steam account. Um, the pictures, the screens are not going to work um, if you don't enlist. That's how important what I'm explaining to enlist into the beta playtest. If you do not enlist in the beta playtest, your screen will not work in the future. That's how important it is to enlist in the beta playtest. So you better get to those of you that can understand. Better get some people in on enlisting in the beta playtest. Our screens will not work. I don't know what much more to say. This is an important thing to actually do by enlisting in the beta playtest. So I'm gonna go off the screen, and I'll be waiting for some numbers to come in. So hopefully you guys can do it yourself, or you can communicate the need, because brains are not working. When the body is not aligned, we start to not understand. So I'm gonna go off the screen, and waiting for the numbers to come in. So I'm going off the screen. I'll be right back. Just got back in here, and I'm going to try to explain the best I can. Um, Over in the community here, when you talk about when I talk about or when somebody else talks about of something that needs to be done, like the issue that needs to be actually done. Um, let's see here how communications um, can work like this. I don't know where you are, but I do know. I'm going to say if you are in the state of Oregon, what I need you to do is I need you to have your Steam account logged in and to where you go into the elderscrolls.com and scroll down over to the Sky Oblivion beta and then enlist into the beta program. I need your if you are anywhere in Oregon, I need those of you in Oregon to enlist into the Sky Oblivion beta playtest right now. So, giving that, how long will this take? The numbers on my end might not come in right away, but it's going to come in right away, and to where I can send the message back to where that the message will be sent back to your email. I won't individually have your email, but I will be able to explain if there's numbers coming in. There's no numbers on my end, and the company that looks in on where the numbers in and what I see and what they see, we don't see any number. All we see is a zero. That's not giving us any hope. And so what I'm explaining, for those of you that are in Oregon, please enlist in the Sky Oblivion beta playtest. That's how important it is right now for those of you to enlist in the beta playtest. Honestly, it doesn't matter wherever you are currently. As long as you enlist in the beta playtest, we're able to communicate through what's called numbers. There's only a few places that numbers works, and this is one of those places. So what I need you to do is, as you're doing this right now, oh boy. So like when like I'm talking to you, what if this is going to sound stupid because I'm talking to someone imaginarily, and go over to the elderscrolls.com. Make sure you have your Steam account logged in. Those are the two things. Two first things on the checklist. So I'll try to go over this again and again and again. I'll try to repeat this message multiple times so we can get the numbers over 22 million people. Once you get this in, you're going to be part of not only me, but you're going to be part of the other people that are connected to the system as well. So make sure that you have your Steam account logged in. This will take a couple of minutes for the person to get their email logged in, because that's what it takes over. This is a complex subject on getting the proper channels aligned of how the system actually works inside of Steam individually. What you have to do is sometimes what happens when you log in, the system automatically logs you in. If you've been logged in, like you should see your username in your profile that you have. And I'm not for sure when the actual system, when it actually logs off a person. So if you're not logged in, just go back over into steamcommunity.com and log in by where you log in with your account information with your password, and where that will send you over to your email, to where you can check out the code that you input in over on steamcommunity.com. Once you get that, going over to theelderscrolls.com should be very, very simple. Hopefully you can get that through right now in this current time that this is being discussed. It's going to be super sweet, super relief on my part and your part. So when you all you got to do is scroll down, and I'm sure you've went through the daily practice. I'll be super happy when the number actually comes in. So do you have your Steam account logged in? This is an endless thing because some people have never heard of Steam before. So now that you've possibly heard about Steam, it's STEAMCOMMUNITY.com. It makes it a little bit simpler when you sometimes when you hear it by the spoken word. If you've seen Steam throughout the internet, you're like, I wonder if that would be a good system for me to get into. I guarantee you that by going into having a Steam account, even if you don't have a game console, this is going to set you up later on down the road. Even if you don't have a console, this is going to set your device up to where you can see these types of information, to where you know what a person is talking about when they talk about when they have an individual Steam console. This gears us towards the other game systems, to where we can communicate with back and forth to the different game companies. Basically, of what I'm explaining right now, how important it is to be able to list into the beta playtest. I'm going to look in here into what the playtest looks like right now. Right over here it says early access game, and this gives you guys some of the information as your person is logging in to Steam, and they're going into the elderscrolls.com, and they're going inside of here, because this is not publicly visible yet. Once there's enough users that have been recorded, we can make the system publicly visible. I don't know how many actual users have to be, like how many recorded numbers have to be in. All I know is that we have to have over 22 million users, and just by having another person's number, like the number one, that will add up. Simple addition: 1 plus 1 is equaling to 2. Once your number comes in on my side, I'm able to transfer over the number over into granting you the access to where you can see this information. This will become publicly visible to you. See what I'm saying when I'm talking about with becoming publicly visible? When you enlist into the Elder Scrolls Online Sky Oblivion playtest, that will be making the system publicly visible to you. You'll be going away from the public. You see what I'm saying? That's a better thing for us all when we don't see, when we all can see. We're basically all the public. We're public. See, I'm a public. I'm a publican. I'm I'm part of the public. Or in order for us to become part of the public, we have to become connected. And so when you guys enlist, what that does for me is I can transfer over that number to where the other parts of the company see. Now that you kind of understand what I'm talking about, is the need to enlist in the Elder Scrolls Online Skype Living playtest. I'm going to look at the numbers right now on what this hopefully is this. I'm going to refresh, and it's still saying 0. Why has no one actually been able to enlist in the beta playtest? That's a concern. So once you enlist, so I'm explaining to you, once the request access button is pressed, that will go into the place where I see to where I can get you in. But I can't get anybody in if I don't see anything, and if the company like goes in and they make up a bunch of numbers, well, that doesn't make the company whole. It doesn't make the company right. What I'm explaining with seeing the numbers, when we see the numbers, we all see the numbers. And we can explain that we see the numbers. Now see how complex this is getting? Because you have defied from what other people, and not only I have said, it's becoming more difficult for you to even get on an electronic. It's getting more complex now because you didn't listen to the people that were telling you need to do this. And so I'm explaining the need to actually enlist in the beta playtest. That's an important thing. If I get done speaking and this broadcast gets done by 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and there is still the number 0, that did us no good. That screwed us. It's a very, very, very difficult thing when things are trying to be communicated, and if you still procrastinate, well, that's just going to be that's going to go against you. And not only that does that go against you, but that goes against all the people you're talking to or the people that you're near. It's a simple thing of learning Sesame Street. This is the basic branch going off from Sesame Street to over into Elder Scrolls. Sesame Street is not very well known anymore, and that's kind of a horrible thing because Sesame Street is one of the learning curves for children. When you were a little baby, most likely your parent had you watch Sesame Street. And so right now, if you're that baby that is now of age, you understand what I'm saying, where this is Sesame Street to your child that you might have. Right now, I'm going to go off of the screen. I'm going to take a quick break. Please enlist in the Sky Bolivian beta playtest.